Rained quite a bit last night. Usually, you see the neighbor's house? All this used to be trees, and the dude chopped everything down and blew all the leaves into the lake. And so this area, the lake is like uniform, like since it was done by a machine, since it's a man-made lake, it was 5 feet deep almost all the way throughout. But it created a mud barge of leaves right there. And you can see it almost every day, and now it's almost not visible. So it rained a good amount. I had a recording from yesterday and a few days prior, but I recorded it like this. And so it messes up the grain on the video. So I'm gonna go through and redo everything. Still the beginning of the year, and what is that? Oh, how did this get here? So I'm always finding trash. I don't know how it gets here, because I don't drink from bottles. That's old too. Look at this stone. Asparagus popping up right next to some poison ivy. Poison ivy. If we can get it to focus here. Probably not. Man. Is there like a focus button here? What's the deal? Anyways, it's poison ivy. There's more of it there. Something just jumped right by the dock. This used to be stocked. So I have to go through and weed out all this stuff, because I really want this poison ivy to grow. Here are some of the things that I hope to get done this year. You see this. This was the first time I ever did this. So I built a wall, but I didn't want the wall shifting around too much. And I wanted a nice uniform edge. So I built a cap right here. And I didn't really build the wall or the cap properly. There's a shelf going along here. But this is the first time I did it. And I was just like, yeah, let's see what happens. So the second time around, I made some adjustments. See how nice that is? It makes it easier to organize. I made the amount of concrete less, and I lined the stones up right up to the edge so it looks better. Goes all the way through here. And then it slopes off, you see? So I got all the way down here. This is a cool tree. Right here, this willow tree. Boom. They grow straight up and they grow fast. It's buckling the fence. But that's okay, I won't be here much longer. This garden was a great learning experience. But still, I'm going to continue the work. I'm going to chop this root. It's important if you're going to chop roots to not chop everything at once. Slowly work away at it to give the tree time to adjust. Otherwise, you'll have a tree that uproots itself or dies. So I'm going to end up taking a sawzall to this root somewhere around here, and I'm going to build stairs that go up to the asparagus patch. And then I'll just throw a few stepping stones so that it'll prevent the asparagus from growing, but at the same time, I won't be stepping on potential asparagus. It's a trade-off. I would like to see the asparagus on this side of the fence, but I think it's choked out. I threw up a temporary wall right here. See these? Boom. The cap ends here, and the weight distribution goes diagonally downwards to the cinder block. I'd probably remove this block, although I don't know, depending on the weight that's on it. But this block's not permanent, this is not permanent, this is not permanent. I need more stones. What happened was I ran out of stones. You see these dark colored stones? This one, this one, this one. Most of the darker colored stones, those I got from the river. I would take the canoe. That canoe is almost as old as me. And it's made out of plastic, so it's almost time for it to go. I would take the canoe down to the pond. All the way out down there, fill it with rocks, and then bring it back here, because there's a bridge down there, and right at the bridge they just leave the rocks. Well, they built a new bridge, so I have a new set of rocks. Otherwise, what I would do is I'd go walking in the woods and then grab one stone, two stone at a time, but I'm only looking for good flat stones. Angular stones, not the rounded ones, angular stones that'll be able to stack and create a wall here. So I need to go collect some more stones, but first I need to do this. Create a little step system. That way I know where to start the wall, because there's no point in digging if I'm just going to build stairs up, right? Finish this wall, I can move these blocks somewhere else. But the goal is to finish this wall. So I've got some garlic mustard here. Not the purple, but these are garlic mustard. These are thistle. This is burdock. That's probably not carrot. Well, it's Queen Anne's lace, which is the ancient carrot. It's got medicinal properties. I don't know if you can really get too many calories out of it. I gotta go through here and I gotta weed. You see how I have the leaves here? I only have a few trees in this garden, and I would actually want a little bit less. So the neighbor, I would cut down many of the trees, but I'd still leave some, so that the leaves are constantly fertilizing. Anyways, just making sure not to step on any. If you go around here, right, I told you this was unfinished, but it's sturdy, so I'm cool with it. I have a little walkway here I have to clear out. I have to weed. I'm not sure what those bright ones are. They look like dandelions on steroids. Seriously. See how it's like a lance? That is dandelion on steroids. Oh. Right, I gotta clear my way, deal with the brush, all these weeds and stuff. Here's my strawberry field. Do some weeding here, clean this stuff up, clean this edge up a little bit. I'll probably start moving these rocks to here to create a wall there. That's doing fine, but this section seems to be having the most trouble. Look how thick these strawberries are growing. Those are the sunflowers from last year. Turn them into biochar. What else did I do? This is a temporary wall. As you can see, I've got these boards holding the soil up. And I might even want to raise the soil up a little higher. I don't know. But I need more stones. And these are from a concrete. I pulled these. Somebody dumped these. A construction worker dumped these in the woods somewhere, like right off the side of the road. So I just picked them up. It's a concrete slab that was broken, perfect for building walls. But as you can see, there's a lot of man-made blocks in this wall. So this is going to be, this is a whole other project that I'm just leaving aside, because I've decided what I'm doing with this section and this section. I've got orange cauliflower that I'll probably grow in here, but also I grew 400 beets and 400 onions. Well, I germinated them. I don't know how many have successfully germinated and how many will survive transplanting, but this whole section from here, this upper section, this lower section, is going to be beets and onions and some herbs. And so I need to get rid of as many stones and weeds as possible. Have to level this out. I have to go down that way where the other bridge is, and I have to get the swamp soil. I'll show that, because this year I'm going to get there before all the weeds grow. Then I have to clear all this. So this is like, this is one of the latter things that I will do. But I have a good number of stones here that I can use over here. So we'll see how far those stones go, because I don't have enough stones or enough time to do that wall, this wall, and then do this wall. This wall is less important than all of them. It's a shorter wall. I'll show you some of the stuff I did with the bricks. That's just temporary. This stuff right here, that's all temporary. I don't know exactly how I want to do it. I have more of those red pavers. It's one of the good things about doing landscaping and construction. I get them all for free. But you can see I put the bricks down here. Fixed this whole mess up. Looks good. And while I was doing it, I could only see these flowers. These are perennials that I transplanted from a garden while I was working at a landscaping company that did condominium complexes. And while we were weeding, they were like, get rid of everything. So I ran and I grabbed like a Dunkin' Donuts cup or a Wendy's cup. I threw them in there and I hoped for the best. And I transplanted them here and they lived. It's all about getting the bees over here. That's what it's all about. And my fruit trees are doing well. I don't have any berries forming just yet. But the walnuts are starting to show leaves. Not this one yet, it might have died. But this one is, so. We got all different types of stuff. Many different plants. I'm just looking around, going slow. I have carrots from last year popping up. And I did a lot of work since last week with this wall. This wall is semi-permanent. It's about the same height as this wall right here. So that would be my goal. That to look like that. Let's see, here's my oregano bush. I do have something. There's carrots everywhere here. Boom, boom. Because I left them from last year, I didn't harvest them. I do have something popping up here. I don't know what it is. It could be watermelon, it could be Maldives melon, it could be a squash, I don't know. Again, something over here popping up. These are just the precursors. Once everything is all cleaned up and I get everything in the ground and they're just a few inches off the ground like this, then I'll go through and I'll just do, this is just me walking through my garden and talking. Wow, I've already gone on almost 20 minutes now, so that's okay. I'm about to wrap this up. I did a lot of weeding here yesterday. Filled up several buckets. And I figured out what the weed was that was giving me the most trouble over here. And there's hardly any of it left for now. I'm sure it'll pop up, and there's some to my left. I really want to know what that is. I obviously won't know till later on, but I'm gonna have lots of ground cover this year. I'm congested today. I don't know why. I'm not sick. I never get sick. I haven't been sick since Lyme disease, and then before that, like 5-6 years, not even a cold. I just have like dust in my nose or something. I don't know. So this stuff, this is everywhere. And it doesn't go away because it grows under the soil with rhizomes. I had a better clip of it yesterday. But it's called mugwort. And I do not like mugwort. It makes me very... I call it humble weed for 2 reasons. One, let me see if I can find it, because it leaves these things in the ground. I don't think I'll be able to show you, but it leaves oh, I'll find it as long as you just bear with me, because they're everywhere. I could find them if I was walking around barefoot, because that's why they annoy me. Well, let's just look. Okay, so as I pull this up, it grows rhizomes, so it grows shoots under, and then things pop up randomly. So as I pull this, the life underneath the soil. See how long this goes? It's so difficult to get rid of it all. But it leaves like nails in the soil. Not literal nails, but when the rhizomes get really mature, they get very woody. And then I'm walking through, I usually walk through barefoot. But if I'm walking through barefoot, so I can't do that anymore. I used to only walk barefoot. So until I get rid of it, that's why I call it humbleweed. And I'm just gonna, like, there's almost no getting rid of it. I'm gonna have to pick it year after year after year. I thought I got it all yesterday, but there it is popping up again. That's why I call it humbleweed, not tumbleweed. The Afroman song, that's a good weed, but a humbleweed, because I'm just gonna have to accept its role in the ecosystem and deal with it. Some people use it for medicinal purposes, but there's a compound called, it's either thulone or thujone. I can't remember off the top of my head. It causes hallucinations, convulsions, epilepsy, so I stay away from it. I have no use for that. There's better ways of hallucinating. Now, the peas that I grew, oh, I'll show another, I'll go over the herbs later. So the peas that I planted, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, they survived 2 days of frost. There was frost on the grass. So, you know, epigenetic stressors, success. So the generations of these plants will have the frost, will have more, not, it's not, it doesn't happen as quickly and as, what would be the terminology, as concrete as, you know, 2 days of frost and these things are now frost tolerant. But the switches are being switched, and that memory will be passed on to the next generation. So generation after generation after generation, eventually the genes will be the dominant gene instead of the recessive gene. That's the goal. That's why I say epigenetic stressors is success. I'm leading towards the evolution of a frost-resistant purple pea. And so you can see something popping up here. I don't know what it is. Hopefully it's not all mugwort, but you can see some of the mugwort. This stuff. I threw down some chamomile here. I threw arugula in between every other brick. And then I came through a few days later, and I threw, a week later, and I threw radishes every brick. That's what's going to be behind them. So I should start to see results in a few weeks. That's why these bricks are here. They're just holding a place. I'll figure out what to do with them. But I went through and I weeded just about everything here. And so everything in this garden is edible or medicinal, even the mullein. They call it it's just dead nettle. They call it red dead nettle, but it's more pink or purple, as you can see. It's maroon leaves in like a fluorescent purplish pinkish flower. I still haven't found out what these are. I should know them, right? I should know what they are. They're kind of cool looking. There's a little white flower on it. These are called Creeping Charlie. See them with the really purple flower there? That's edible and medicinal. The dandelions, edible and medicinal. I was eating them yesterday, but look at all the blooms that are about to pop up. It's almost as if they closed overnight. And they're not opening till the sun comes out, which it's not going to today. I know there will be purslane popping up eventually. I know there will be clover popping up eventually. I haven't identified this one yet. So those are the edible weeds. Oh, there's one more that I like the flavor of the most. This one in the corner over here is sorrel, S-O-R-R-E-L, and it's got like a lemony citrus flavor to it. This is all good for garnishing salads. Like you could put like 20% of your salad as far as this. Oh, I've got chickweed. That's what I've got. I don't know what that is. So the name of the game in this garden is to literally just have a variety of cover crops. And when this gets too dominant, or when that gets too dominant, so dandelion root is healthy too. So I can come through and I can say, well, there's too many dandelion in this one section. I've got one bush here, one bush here, one bush here, one bush here, and I could just pull it out. I could use the root and let whatever else is in the area creep in. And that's how I create variety. Same thing with these dead nettles. If I want to create a space, I can just harvest an area right here down to the ground and let something else grow in. I just create a collage, really. Total randomness, and because every year is different, each plant will have its year to grow, and so whatever's growing well that year is what I have to happen to harvest the most. Why am I over here? Oh, chickweed. Where's the chickweed? Anyways, it's here. There's not a whole lot of it, but it's here. It's in other parts of the garden too. That's about it, really. Just working. Little weekend update, 30 minutes. Not much really going on. Like I said, when I get everything weeded, I got this whole section for the most part weeded. I still have yet to finish with this, putting the bricks underneath the fence. Boom. That's all rocks, and there's always these perennial shrubs that grow there, then grow up the fence. So I got to figure out what to do there. I'll probably put some more stairs in there. That would work out well. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'll plant blueberries there. That's not a bad place for blueberries. They like acidic soil. So utilizing the landscape, this is an eastern cedar, one of my favorite trees around. You should look into cedar fever. And long story short, cedar fever is the reason why people get sick in the wintertime. Why it is not because of seasonal bugs. It's literally because people are is cedar fever. It's an allergy reaction to the pollen that the cedar tree releases in the wintertime. It's because people don't go outside, they eat junk food, their body has an overactive histamine response to anything that isn't high fructose corn syrup that enters their system, and then they take over-the-counter meds to suppress their immune system, and then whatever bugs are already inside of them, because your body already has the sickness in them at all times, it's just battling it. Then that, because you told the security to go on lunch break, then the thieves ran in, and then people get sick, and then they spread it, and then that's how sickness starts. I could rant for hours about this stuff. You know, that's why, that's basically what Dr. Sebi was trying to say when he said germ theory is a lie, but that's not true. You know, there's so many, like, explain Ebola without using germ theory. People go, I know. Explain STDs without a germ theory. Like I said, I could rant too much. I'm just gonna end this video. Oh, let me show you an example of rhizomes, if I still can, because I ripped them out yesterday. There was bamboo growing over here somewhere, but I ripped it out of the ground. Here it is. Here's a bamboo shoot growing out of the ground, and the way it works. This is edible, by the way. Not all varieties of bamboo are edible. I have yellow bamboo. You can buy bamboo hearts. Is it hearts or shoots? Either way. You can buy them in grocery stores, like canned. If you go, some Asian restaurants will serve these in their fried rice or their vegetable stir fries. It's a carbohydrate. It's got some vitamins in it. But if you look down in there, it's got a rhizome, so there's a main root that shoots underneath the soil. And it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 yards underground before it popped up again. And here's a cluster of yellow bamboo. I'll chop them down this year, process them, use them in the garden. And that went about the same distance, no lie. Boom. To here, and then almost the same distance to the bamboo over there on the other side of the fallen branch. So I'll end over here in my flower patch. I guess it's like customary at this point for me to do that. The tulips still have not bloomed. Hey, that's life in Connecticut. I look around, I don't get jealous at the people down south, because there's 0 poisonous species where I live. In the books it says we have a water moccasin and a copperhead, but I've never seen either, and I live in a pond. You know, so it's like I'm in the woods almost every day. I haven't seen them. I haven't seen a single poisonous spider, nothing. I could go to sleep I could just go to sleep right here and not worry about anything killing me. Those survival shows where they go to like the Amazon or any rainforest, any tropical rainforest, and there's a million poisonous species, that would be not my phobia, but I wouldn't know how to adjust to something like that. It would keep me up at night. The bee balm's there, not blooming yet, but it'll get there. Anyway, just 36 minutes. I have wasted enough of your time, but thank you for tuning in. There's some type of flowers growing right there. It looks like a pine tree. I hope it's not a pine tree. I don't know how it would be a pine tree. There's no pine within like 30 yards of me. So I'm hoping it's a flower. I'm gonna have like 30 different flowers here. It's gonna be a collage. It's in the corner right next to the beehive. So anyways, signing out.